welcome to Sacred Spaces. My name's Michaela Drieberg and today we're at the award-winning ANZ Centre in Docklands, Melbourne. With us we have Sam Aloi and Alan Edler from Norman Disney & Young, and they're going to tell us a little bit more about how this building came to be. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the ANZ Global Headquarters, an amazing building, an amazing project for Melbourne, right here on the banks of the iconic Yarra River. Our brief was quite simple. For such a big building with so many people, we really needed to reduce the impact to the environment. So it was all about sustainability. This building looked towards producing less emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, and by doing that, it was looking towards generating its own electricity, most of its own electricity, either by gas turbines or by solar panels. And it's also about reducing the amount of water being consumed as well. So the building has strong sustainability credentials. We're really proud of it, and that was the brief.
Yeah, the other key aspect of the engineering design was really about creating an environment or a space for ANZ's employees where their comfort levels would be enhanced and the quality of the internal space would be optimised. So we incorporated a number of engineering solutions, including the innovative underfloor air conditioning, to make sure that experience for the employees was maximised.
And it's a huge building, but it's only 10 floors high, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's got ground floor entry off Collins Street, connecting Collins Street to the Yarra River, and then the upper floors. That presented some unique challenges as well, being such big floor plates. Using engineering alternative solutions, sustainable solutions, not really used previously in a building of this scale. We're quite happy.
And we're going to be talking to a couple of partners that you worked with on developing this building as well. So should we go in and have a chat?
Great, let's go. Excellent.
Well, we're mixing things up a little bit today, and now I've got Claire Johnson with me from Lease, who's going to talk to us a little bit more about how the ANZ Centre fits in with the larger precinct of Docklands. Welcome, Claire. Hi. So ANZ Centre, it's an entity in itself, but how does it fit in with the whole Docklands precinct?
It was a really bold move for the ANZ to decide to come down to Docklands because it's still a growing community. And with that, bringing 6,500 people down here has created a real vibe and an energy for us as a part of the public realm. So connecting Collins Street and the Yarra River through a building has been a really fabulous opportunity for us and also for the bank to engage the public in what they do in a transparent way.
It's really a part of the whole area. It's nestled in, it's behind this grassy knoll we have behind us, and it's right at a tram stop as well. So did you need to negotiate with some other parties to actually get it in the right place?
Well, yeah, public transport and infrastructure and delivering those things are always very complicated projects, and it's especially complicated when you've got a client that has 6,500 people coming in and out every day, and their public transport needs are really paramount. And so what we were able to do is negotiate with our state government partners to really reduce the time it took to extend Collins Street and the tram. So what was originally going to be a 6-week activity turned into a 4-day long weekend.
Oh,
so
wow.
Working with the government and with our ANZ as a partner, we've been able to really reduce those times so that we don't disrupt people's experience down here.
And now you've mentioned a few times now, 6,500 people use the ANZ Centre every day. Well, not every day, but quite frequently. So how do you house so many people and really meet all their different varying needs?
So it's amazing. It's like a little village, isn't it? And so we have 6,500 people here at the end of Collins Street, and all those people have to get to work on time. They have to be fed. They have to interact with each other, and they have to have an experience that's not just about work. And so really important for us is delivering their outdoor amenities as well. So we have a running trail, a whole range of bike paths and parks, so that you can get out for that lunchtime walk. We also have a range of retail that sits around and within the building. So about 72 shops offer places for lunch every day. So being able to really meet those needs that are outside the office space is as critical as delivering the right office environment.
And so it really is a little village that meets the needs of its people in the larger, really unique part of Melbourne.
Yeah, it is really extraordinary when you put it like that, because you don't have to leave that building if you don't want to. Most people do because they like to get out and enjoy the environment, and both the design of the building and its relationship with the broader precinct enables that choice of activity.
Well, thanks for taking the time to explain a little bit more how the building fits in with the larger Docklands precinct. It's been really interesting to learn a little bit more about how that all fits.
It's a pleasure, thank you. Thank you.
So we're with Harley Vincent now from Hassel, and we're in the heart of the ANZ Centre. Welcome, Harley.
Hi Michaela, how are you?
Good. Now, you were one of many people that were involved with the design of the building, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And what were some of the design elements that you took into account when you were designing this gorgeous building?
Well, the building's really inspired by its riverside location, and you'll see on the outside of the building that the colours are also inspired by nature, with the sort of earthy tones down low and sort of sky blues on the top of the building.
And so you mentioned before that there's several hubs within the building as well. Is this one of them?
No, the hubs are actually scattered through the building, and you can see some in the atrium here. There's 44 hubs all up, all focused around 5 themes. And they're basically spaces for the staff here at ANZ to go to, sort of breakout space, casual spaces that they can have casual meetings in.
So the ANZ Centre houses 6,500 people. So how did you take into account some of the needs, especially in the office spaces?
Well, 6,500 people, you're designing for a small town. So you have to take on board urban design principles and really create spaces between places. So you have to have places that are hot, cold, quiet, noisy, different environments for people to gravitate towards and gather in. Yeah.
And this atrium space, this middle space that we're in here is now, was there any particular thinking behind the natural light that's involved and how it's really that central piece throughout the building?
Yeah, well, this atrium space is really my favourite space. And the main purpose of the atrium is to get as much daylight into the work floors, as well as act as a visual connection between the staff and the public. So the public can come up into this space, and it was a real challenge sort of balancing that security and transparency. I mean, we're in the heart of a headquarters, banking headquarters, so it's quite a challenge.
And it was certainly very brave of ANZ to really open up and to breach that security. Well, not breach it, but open it up to the general public as well, because it's not only this space with its cafes and other retail that's involved, but there's some other spaces that can be hired out for functions as well, I think.
That's right, there's community function spaces, there's visitor centres, as well as the cafes, there's the wellness centre, so there's quite a bit of activity here on the common.
And one other thing that I really love when I go into especially newer builds is just seeing how plants have been incorporated as well. It's still quite novel to see greenery inside a building. So was that something else that you had to focus on given the sustainability nature of the building?
Yeah, it's all to do with the wellness of the workplace, and as well as breaking up the space, but including plants in the internal environment obviously helps with the air quality.
Okay, well, it's been interesting learning a little bit more about the heart of the ANZ Centre, so thanks for sharing with us, Harley.
Thank you, Michaela.
Well, we're here on the rooftop of the ANZ Centre now, and the reasons why is that the huge focus for the development of this building has been its sustainability. So can you talk us through some of the features that you guys incorporated?
Yeah, sure. Like I mentioned before, the building generates much of its own electricity, and it's doing that by 2 main areas. One is solar panels, photovoltaic panels. Here on the roof you'll see that we've got over 1,700 modules sitting on the top of ANZ, covering an area of over 1,300 square metres. That, together with the wind turbines, which are spinning on this windy day, generates hundreds of kilowatts of power, and we provide that power in parallel with the normal electricity grid for the ANZ building. It's a great result for sustainability.
Very good. Another initiative that the building does incorporate, as we spoke about before, was the importance of the indoor environment and the quality of the working space. So the air conditioning in this building is actually drawn in from a plant room that's just under our feet, pumped down to the building and supplied through a false floor. So rather than being supplied from above the occupants, it comes from their feet and washes back up through the space. Now this means that we can maximise the outside air quantity that's going through the building. For the majority of the year we're running on 100% outside air through the building and flushing the building of any particulates or contaminants that might build up in that space. That really brings a new level of occupant comfort and conditions within the building at a very low environmental footprint at the same time. So that's certainly a key initiative. One of the other really interesting things that the building does is it does reject some of the waste heat from inside of the building into the river. So it actually draws water from the river, takes heat that's built up in server rooms and the data centre, and then rejects that heat via a series of heat exchangers out into the river. So rather than using cooling towers, which use a lot of water, or rejecting that heat to the air via fans, which uses a lot of energy, we save both water and energy by doing that.
Right. Well, Norman Disney and Young have worked on some amazing buildings around the city, but I could see why you really wanted to showcase this building here as well. Thanks for spending some time with us today, Sam and Alan. It's been really interesting learning a little bit more about behind the scenes.
No problem, thanks.
My name's Michaela Drebeck. You're watching Sacred Spaces, and we'll see you next time.